to overtime. Dwayne Wade right at the body of Anderson Varejao. Welcome to your Kodak moment, Anderson Varejao.
Doncic pulls up, three-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good! Doncic wins the game at the buzzer!
As far as games go this week, we had some good ones. We had some really sad ones too. Most notably, Washington against the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow tore his ACL and MCL and will miss the entire year. Everyone saw this coming with how awful the Bengals' offensive line was, and how much he was throwing. Look, I think, I can't remember who it was, but someone had a great rant on sports radio yesterday, which was the greatest quarterbacks in the draft are always going to go to the worst teams. And the worst teams are always going to be losing in games. So they're going to be throwing more often. And when you throw more often, you need more time in the pocket. And when you need more time in the pocket and you have a bad offensive line, you're going to get hit the most. And that's what happened to Joe Burrow, which is impressive considering his great pocket awareness and his, ability to throw on the run. But he kept getting hit because the Bengals' offensive line was disgustingly bad. Like, they had I think their first round pick 2 years ago now in Jonah Williams, who's back, but I don't notice him. The offensive line is just collapsing everywhere. And I know you can't have a good offensive line with one good player, but it is awful. And of course, we're, wishing for the best with Joe Burrow, wishing he comes back healthy. But this is an organizational failure. And after the Joe Burrow injury, we just got report after report that Zach Taylor does not know what he's doing with the Bengals. AJ Green wanted out. John Ross wanted out. That whole team is falling apart, Carlos Dunlap got traded at the deadline and apparently desperately wanted out, which is strange to say for someone who was such a huge part of the Bengals when they were decent. So, I mean, I don't know what to say at all. I'm incredibly sad that the Bengals are allowed to continue like this. Because, come on. Like, I know we have to give bad teams higher draft picks. That's how the draft works. But it is incredibly sad to me when such a good young player goes to such an awful team. And then, is still great, but it's just not in a position to succeed. That's my biggest issue. Joe Burrow has proved me entirely wrong. I said he was going to be a pretty good player, but not anything insane. He has been a historically great rookie. Was on the verge of breaking every single rookie record for completions, for passes thrown, for passes completed, for yards, in a year. And now we're not going to see that for the rest of the year. And that's sad. The only silver lining of this that I hope for is that the Bengals end up with Penei Sewell and he can protect Joe Burrow. But I don't think the Bengals are going to win another game all year. I know they're playing the Giants next week. I should hope the Giants win that game. But, man, is it sad. It really is. It's sad.